What is up, RotoGrinders? We're back. 2 hours nonstop NBA DFS conversation starts right now. Big boy slate, not messing around. It's a 9-gamer. Of course, the 9th game of the 9 games being played tonight. The most injury potential, LeBron. I shouldn't say injury. Whatever. Injury management. He's questionable. He's questionable to play basketball tonight in the back half of a back-to-back. Both the Lakers and Charlotte, they played that makeup game last night. Charlotte accidentally won, and they're ruling out players. Ball's not playing. Williams not playing. We talked about that last night. Not playing tonight, back half of a back-to-back in Denver. Scheduled blowout, 17-point dogs, and now the Lakers ruled out Luka, who's bad again. He's been bad so far. He's going to be okay. But LeBron, they give him the questionable tag. Questionable LeBron, 10 o'clock on the East Coast. Latest game of the slate, so that's always fun. Here to talk about that, amongst other things, it's Chop. You guys know Head Chopper. What's up, Chopper? How are things? How was your break? How are we feeling?
I don't know, Dean. Break was okay. I didn't mind not having NBA DFS around for a while, so no big deal. No real loss there. I didn't really accomplish anything I really wanted to accomplish, though. Anything around the house. That's unfortunate, but now we're back. Now we got to grind out the finale of the season here, the last couple months.
Did you have like a project and you got distracted and just never happened? Is that what? Was there something on the docket?
Just little knick-knack stuff. I got some jerseys, some autographed jerseys. I would have liked to have framed them if I could have sat down one day and just framed them, and just normal house cleaning stuff, like some heavy duty, 2 or 3 times a year type stuff I would have liked to have done, but I don't know what we did. We just kind of got preoccupied with other things. So
what is your best signed jersey?
Well, right now I gotta say it's probably no, I don't want to. That's really product of the moment, but I would say Amen Thompson. But it's probably the real answer is I got 2 Hakeem Olajuwon jerseys, right? One's from college, one's from the pros. Rockets, Cougars, Houston connection. Crazy enough, I can't see it because of the green screen, but the college one, he actually used his first name on the back of the jersey.
Oh.
And in the NBA, they use the last name. So I've got them side by side. So it says Hakeem with an H, by the way, because he didn't change it yet. Hakeem Olajuwon side by side, Cougars Rockets jersey. It's really, really cool. I think it's cool because I'm a fan, but yeah.
It is. Speaking of Hakeem Olajuwon, he is an athlete. He might potentially be today's Fleet Thursday. That would be weird, right? What were the odds of that? It is a Fleet Thursday. If you guys forgot, it's been a while. It's been a week. Get in the Discord. Tell me what athlete we're talking about. We're going to drop 5 clues individually throughout the show. We'll go ahead and drop that first one for the people. It is Hoops. Hoops is the first clue. Officially, the only place to give your answers in the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel, 1 guess per clue drop. And what is the reward for doing such things? For being correct, for being the first person to tell me what fleet we're talking about? You get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Yeah, there you go. Hoops is clue number 1, Chop. We have LeBron questionable tonight. Luka is ruled out. I went ahead and dropped the Situation Room link in the YouTube chat. What's up, YouTube? Hit that like button. Do subscribe as well. Do turn on those notifications. Hit all the buttons. Hit all the things. Hit everything. Appreciate that. Coming out of the break, 6-7 days for most of these guys. A lot of the players got healthier. We still have some questionable, but a lot of teams are healthier tonight. Giannis is questionable. Lillard is questionable, so that's only going to fall apart for Bobby Portis. If you guys missed it, got hit with a suspension for mixing up his, I guess the story was his agent maybe gave him the wrong one as far as the wrong drug. The wording is very similar. Toradol and something else. But one was illegal and one was not, and he's gone for 25 games, unfortunately. Josh Hart is out for New York. Oh, Wemby. Wemby's got a blood clot issue at his shoulder, which is that's unfortunate. He's done for the rest of the season. That's a big deal. I kind of buried the lead on that one. But yeah, no Wembanyama. But otherwise, most of these teams are pretty healthy. There are 6 teams on the front half of a back-to-back. That's the Grizzlies, the Magic, the Cavs, the Knicks, Bucks, Spurs, and again, both teams that played yesterday. They are on the back half. That's the Hornets and the Lakers. And yes, we see the poll dropped in chat tonight. Who is winning? The United States taking on Canada. The 4 nations going down in Boston. It is the finals tonight. Yeah. Did you care for the hockey? You're not a big hockey guy, right, Chip?
Not a big hockey guy, but I would say that it's pretty interesting format they got going on here. So yeah, I'll be in tune with that. I think that's pretty. I think it's pretty interesting. I'll tell you. I sent out a tweet, but I can reinforce it here. On one side we got the USA. There's like 3 fights in the first minute of
9 seconds.
Yeah, the first 9 seconds. It's like. It really means a lot to all these people. And then over here, I got to watch Mac McClung. Like it's pretty bad.
I thought the same thing.
So it's fun, man. It means a lot to them. Really getting into the whole. I'm not saying I'm a huge fan of them now, but the Kachuk brothers, I can get behind that, man. So I'll be watching it, rooting for the U.S. of A.
Yeah, that should be. I think it's 8:00 tonight. I'm pretty certain that's when that's going down, but. Otherwise, Chop, anything you want to say as far as big picture stuff? We're seeing a lot of Spurs. We're seeing a lot of Knicks. And again, the Lakers stuff, if LeBron does sit down, can certainly change the slate dramatically. And, the tricky part is like, when does that news drop? LeBron was outrageous yesterday again. Like we've seen it so many times. We were so spoiled by it, but like you forget that he's 40. But man, he was outrageous. They still lost. And he missed the last 2 shots. They had a chance to tie it for overtime. But we'll see if he plays tonight. Of course, if he doesn't, things will open up for the Lakers. Austin Reeves, who got ejected yesterday, would probably get a boatload of usage thrown his way. And he'd be, even though he's pretty pricey, would look spectacular. Anything you want to say big picture-wise as far as the slate? We're going to see some chalky New York, some chalky San Antonio. And there's some stuff we're monitoring as well that might change the slate. But you got anything else for me before we dive in?
So I took a guess, but I'm going off the board there with that one. I know it's not right, but
you guessed Mary Lou Retton. Well, I'm curious. What do you think hoops means?
I don't think hoops would mean. I'm just spitballing here.
Misleading.
I don't think hoops would mean basketball, which everybody seems to think it. I think hoops.
Is it earring thing, maybe?
A gymnast thing. Maybe the hoop. So obviously I'm not right, but I'm trying to, you got to go off the beaten path because I just don't think you'd give us a layup like that. But maybe
it's Harry Strug. Maybe you're on the right path. It's just somebody else.
Apparently it's not because you wouldn't say it if it was. Now, big picture. Yeah, we just got to break it down game by game. There's a lot going on here for having like an 8 or 9 day rest for a lot of these guys. We got a lot of news and it's just crazy. I don't know what's going on. But before we do that, Dean, let's rip off the page of the calendar and see if you can get some trivia here. Yeah. Okay. So we've missed a lot of days here, but I got a couple of them for you. Here was one that's I think this is relatively like I would have bet $1 million that I knew this answer. So I think you'll get this one, Dean. In 1986, what Astros pitcher set a franchise record for consecutive quality starts with 20? It lasted for 36 years until recently. I believe Framber broke it.
I think Framber was, I remember the guy that got it. So it's possibly Mike Scott, it's possibly Nolan Ryan, and it's possibly J.R. Richard. I think it's one of those 3.
1986.
When did J.R. Richard do his thing? He had a really small window of being amazing, right? I think.
Yeah, he was awesome, man.
But I think he blew his arm. I think. No. It's kind of ahead of my. You're saying 1986. Was Ryan in Houston in 86?
That'd be giving you some answers.
I know.
I'll say this: 1986. I'm a little young too on this one, but I do remember 86 being Mets versus Astros in the National League playoff series to go to the World Series.
Oh yeah, Yeah,
Game 6.
famously in the Astrodome. I'm pretty sure it's Mike Scott.
It is Mike Scott. Ding, ding, ding. Mike Scott. Nolan Ryan wasn't on that team, I don't, but now Nolan Ryan, like it was Mike Scott in that rotation. He was the Cy Young guy. He clinched the division with one of his last starts. It was a no-hitter. Like, he was just unhittable. And the Mets, Stevie's Mets, by the way, did not want to see Game 7. They did not want to see Mike Scott in Game 7 because he throttled him the first 2 games of that series and all year long. He was unhittable. So, and that Game 6 went to extra in like 16 innings or something. But no, J.R. Richard didn't blow out his arm. J.R. Richard was incredible. Okay. He had a stroke. And he was never the same after that. He never able to get back. So I give you another one, Dean. This one's a little tougher, but you might get. Can you name the first 3 Astros rookies to hit at least 22 home runs? Astros rookies, there's 3 of them to hit at least 22 home runs.
Glenn Davis? Is that one of them?
You are wrong, sir.
I
don't think he was a rookie when he finally went for like 30.
I think the B's, Biggio or Bagwell, maybe both.
You are wrong again. Neither one of them, Dean.
Was Bagwell a rookie for the Red Sox? I know that was
he was a minor leaguer. He was a minor leaguer, so.
Okay, I got to go back a little bit, I think.
Well, you got to remember now. Well, you said Glenn Davis. Glenn Davis was like this power freak for the Astros, and he only hit like 30-something home runs because at that time frame, the time frame you're thinking, 30 was a monster number. So you might need to like go forward in time a little bit because you're back in
the home like huge, like the Astros target homers. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. So you want to, you might be going a little too far back, Dean. Let's put it like that.
Lance Berkman.
That's a good guess, but no, it wasn't Berkey.
Oh man.
Rice Owl legend, Lance Berkman.
Also a great nickname too. Let's see. Altuve?
No, Altuve didn't come up as a power guy. He was like a 300 hitter. Yeah, 300 hitter.
Oh, I mean, is Yordan Alvarez one of them?
Ooh, you got one, Dean. House.
Oh man, I'm not doing good at this. This is not.
I'll give you a clue on the last 2 guys. A clue. Shortstop.
Correa.
Okay, ding ding.
Bregman.
He was not a shortstop.
Oh, they're all shortstop.
Both of them were shortstops. You got Yordan, you got Correa. You're missing one more guy that hit at least 22 homers.
Oh, is it the guy that regressed, Pena?
Yes, ding ding. It was Pena. I said shortstop. I thought you were going to throw a Dickie Thon out there, but you didn't. You didn't. But yeah,
I'm not going to believe it. I forgot about. I slept on Dickie Thon.
Pena hit 22 his rookie year. So there we go. Trivia wrapped up for today. You did good. Got some. The last one was kind of tough. I wouldn't even got that one. I wouldn't have got Pena. I didn't even think about Pena being a 22 home run guy.
There was baseball today. The Dodgers, Yamamoto, I think, was throwing some baseballs today, like an inning and a third or something like for spring training. But yeah, okay, Chopper, we got to dive in. We got to talk some basketball. Again, the slate is a little bit thwarted by the possibility of LeBron not playing, and then you got to make a decision because when will we get that news? He's questionable. He did sit out the All-Star game. So maybe he has to legitimately nurse the ankle. I know he's played some back-to-back this year, obviously, but that is a tricky conundrum. You'll probably have a couple of games to work with when that news comes out, if it happens to go a certain way. But anything else before we dive in? You got anything for me?
No, we just need to dive in and knock these out.
By the way, side note, I did start my very first baseball draft. I'm in a draft, a slow draft right now as we speak. So if I have to pick while we're on air, I'll give you the heads up. But all right, let's do it. First game on the docket. First game at 7 o'clock. We're going to talk about is Boston, Philly. The rivalry 225.5 is the total. Philly is a 7-point dog here. Who's in, who's out in this one? Well, again, considering the break, Boston is fully healthy. Nobody on the injury report of note. Xavier Tillman, who cares? As far as Philly, Embiid's going to go. He's not even on the injury report. Paul George officially available. He's dealing with that finger. He's dealing with being terrible. I love that Kyle Lowry is ruled out for injury management, which is kind of hilarious after the All-Star break. I just appreciate that. And Justin Edwards is out with he's got an ankle. Eric Gordon's also out with a wrist. Philly basically as healthy as they're going to get. And then you got Boston as healthy as they can be. I don't love this game. You want to talk to me anything here? What do you like about Philly and Boston?
I'm not going to talk you in anything necessarily, but I'll just the Boston side definitely not intriguing to me, being relatively fully healthy and stuff. So I just don't think we're getting anything here for Boston. So I'm not on that side of it. The Philly side, I actually can be talked into Joel. I'm going to talk you into Joel Embiid. I've already talked into him.
Yeah, you wrote about in the survey. That's right.
I like Embiid. I mean, this is like the perfect spot of right now. I believe our ownership on Embiid on DraftKings is less than 2% for a guy who can absolutely, even in limited minutes, which I think the minutes eventually start going up, and they actually did go up right before break, can smash a slate. Like he can, he's under 10K. And Boston, like they're a good defense, except for the fact that they do get beat up by big men sometimes, and on the boards and in the paint, back to the basket game like Embiid has. If he doesn't stand out there and shoot 3-pointers, all night long, I love him as a GPP play, and that's about the only one from this game. I don't know, Dean, if Paul George will ever come back to the guy we thought he like.
It's over. I think it's over.
I think you might be right. I don't know what's like. I don't know, man. It's like a button hit, a switch hit on and off, and it just turned off for him overnight almost. So I don't know if he's getting there. And Maxey, although I love Maxey as a player, this is a perimeter matchup for him, and I don't want to mess with the Boston perimeter defense. So I'm on Embiid here as a guy who could possibly break the slate. A little bit cheaper price tag than a week from now. He'll be well over 10K. So that's the one guy in this game I would mention.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Embiid, you're making the argument that he's rested, as rested as he's going to be. They're not playing tomorrow, but like he wouldn't play anyway. And it is like, again, if you look at the defense first archetype stuff, you talk about it as far as Boston, versatile bigs, it is the number one matchup. It checks out as the number one matchup in all basketball this year for versatile bigs. We're going to call Embiid. And as terrible as Embiid has been, 1.41 DK fantasy points per minute. Like by his standards, he's been bad. And if you watch the games, like it doesn't look like the same guy. And I guess the biggest point you're driving home is he's 2%. Just not really going to be rostered. And if you want to play like the Cat versus Embiid game, right? Does Embiid outscore Cat once every like 15 times or once every 10 times? I think so, right? Like, yeah. So I get it. I don't think I'm doing it, but I understand all the rationale. Doesn't sound like you got anything else as far as this game, correct? All right. One more 7:00 game we can talk about here. That is, this is a fun one. Oh, wow. I just hit refresh, and earlier in the day, it was the highest total. Memphis and Indiana. It was 249.5. Now it's up to 251. It is high and tight. Memphis is a 2.5-point favorite in Indiana. Pacers, the 6th fastest team this year as far as pace. Memphis, number 1. So that checks out. This environment is spectacular. It's funny because my contrarian play that I wrote today happens to be in this game as well. As far as who's in and who's out for this one, again, players getting healthier. Memphis is, fully healthy, fully good to go. The Pacers, nothing new. These teams are as fully healthy as they can be. There's a couple of pieces that are pretty popular here, Chop. Just kind of how salary works. We have Bane is looking pretty good at actually he's only 10%. Pascal on DK is 7-8 at almost 20%. Fringy guys like Naismith is 13%. Halliburton 10%. But what do you think about Ja? Ja's been kind of terrible this year. He's been injured in and out. His minutes have been kind of up and down all season, mostly down by like star standards. He's averaging 28.5 minutes in the season. However, the last 2 games before the All-Star break, he did 33 and 36. I'm not saying he's necessarily for sure going to play that many, but it's nice to know he can, and he's well rested, and it felt like he needed that break. And he's not going to be owned. He's not going to be rostered. Less than 1% currently on DK. I think Vandal a little bit higher. He's 8.4 over there, better price. But I think he's a really good piece. Of course, Pascal, like him, like Bane. Both these teams are fully healthy, but the environment is so good, Chop. I'm curious your thoughts. I'll give you my thoughts first. But do we like this? And again, the tricky part is if we don't know about LeBron stuff, and again, you make different lineups, telling different stories. But I don't know how married I want to be to this game if LeBron happens to be out. Although I don't really know. I want to see the if-then. I guess Reeves is expensive. There's probably a couple cheap guys that will look pretty good as well. But, your assessment of the Grizz and the Pacers, Zach Edey going home from Purdue or playing. He played at Purdue. Does that do anything for you? Do we care?
No, not really. I don't think that's going to be something that dictates whether I roster Zach Edey or not. But so if you're just looking straight at the projections on this thing, they're really probably not going to pop in the optimals or anything like that. There's going to be, you may for 6K, Miles Turner may spring up in some optimals. For 3,700, you may get some Neesmith, maybe some Siakam. But the projections, none of them are jumping off the charts like some of the other value plays and other guys we'll talk about later. But so for me, a game like this, like you mentioned, a 250, this is when if I'm running 150 or even 20 lineups, I find a way to set aside some lineups in lineup HQ and say, give me 5 guys from this game or give me 6 guys from this game, 2 and 4, 3 and 3, whatever, something like that. Because at 250 points, there are going to be guys who score a lot of points in this game. They may or may not come from the guys you think they are. It could be, like you said, the Ja Morant 40-point game. They're going to get close to that number. Vegas doesn't. It's tough to – they're not perfect, but when they put a 250 up there, you can expect it's not going to go under by 20 points. They're going to be relatively close. So there's going to be a lot of points scored. I just think it's a good game stack. It's not going to jump in the optimals. So if you're just waiting for the optimals to jam several players from this game in your lineup, it's not going to happen. So just make it happen on your own. Just getting word here, Dean, a big breaking news. Zach Martin is retiring from the NFL, a Cowboys legend. So sad to see him go, but that's okay. He really fell off last year. So this is a good move probably. But yeah, I just think you gotta force lineup HQ to work this game into you if you're if you're running one game in cash, boy, that's a tough one, man.
No.
Because we got a lot of value. We're going to talk about a lot of good pieces, and the individual pieces of this game aren't as good as the sum of the entire game. So it feels like a good game stack for GPPs. For cash, you might twist my arm and give me some Miles Turner or something, but not a lot in cash.
Yeah, I think I'm not playing cash tonight, and obviously he's expensive, but I think ideally I want to get the cat if I can get the cat in cash. We'll talk about that soon enough. Mr. Richard in chat saying Ja, Triple J, stupidly low owned. Yeah, I like both those guys. Just shopping around price wise. Ja a little better on FanDuel, Triple J a little bit better on DK. Of course, you can switch that up. Paul says we need a clue. Yes, we do need a clue. You're right. My bad. Let's drop that second clue for the people for Fleet Thursday. The second clue is Michigan hoops and Michigan. It's not Shaq or Kevin Garnett or Michael Jordan or Luka Doncic or J.R. Smith or Matthew Tkachuk. Lots of people getting guessed in the chat. It is not Chris Webber, though. I see what you're doing. All right. Anything else? By the way, Lonnie Walker not making his debut tonight. He was signed by Philly. I don't think he would have mattered a heck of a lot, but they're hopeful he can debut on Saturday. Lonnie Walker. Chop, anything else of note, or are we moving along? We're moving on out of these 7 o'clock games, right?
We're moving along, Dean. We're moving along. So you said it's not Chris Webber, but you said it in such a tone as if to say, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
On the Fab Five. So, but you said it in such a way that it's not a Fab Five guy. So I got to scratch the Fab Fives off my list.
No, don't. It could be Juwan Howard for all you know. Don't be any presumptuous.
Okay.
Jalen Rose, Howard, Weber.
Well, obviously, if you're naming them right now, you're not. Wasn't it like Ray Jackson was?
Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's the Fab Five, man. Trendsetters, man, for sure.
Yeah,
crazy.
Let's talk about the Cavs and the Nets. 225.5 is the total. The Nets are 13-point dogs here. They did sign Killian Hayes, just sort of throwing that out there. If you happen to see his name pop up, I'm not saying we're playing him. Just I don't know if he's in the pool, to be honest, but he is on the team, and I think he'll get some minutes. Well, I think he'll be at least be in uniform. Claxton is available for Brooklyn. Cam Thomas is out. Clowney is still out. Bogdanovich is still out. As far as the Cavs, questionable Ty Jerome. He's got a calf. Okoro, he's got a shoulder. He's got a shoulder. He's questionable. Dean Wade still out with his knee. Cavs and the Nets. This is I mean, if you're running 150, have at it. You know, you're playing those big tournaments, but I don't really. Do you like the Cavs and the Nets? Is there something you want to get excited about here?
No, not at all, really. I'll start off with Brooklyn. I mean, they're just not good, and they're finally realizing that they need to tank, so they're not putting really good players on the court a lot of the time. I just can't get behind this one, man. I just don't like that at all, especially against a Cleveland team that is stockpiling on really good defenders, you know. So yeah, I don't know if I can go there. And then for the Cleveland side, what makes it tough is that they're relatively – I think they're all healthy, right? Relatively healthy. And now you're adding DeAndre Hunter into the mix of guys who are going to go out there and play some minutes. So that's going to knock down Strus. Strus is going to knock down Hunter. They're both going to knock down Merrill. And, I don't know. It's messy. I don't see anything popping in this game. Chance at a blowout. Chance that we don't even get a fourth-quarter run for the starters of Cleveland. Not doing it for me, Dean. There's just way too much good stuff later on in the night. So I'm a pass on this game.
Yeah, just looking at the ownership stuff, the biggest number is Keon Johnson at 14%, which to me feels kind of ugly on DK. I don't mind Daron Sharper, which he was in center and center only. We're projecting 19 minutes. This game can get ugly. He can play a little bit more than that, I suppose. Good fantasy point per minute player. Don't hate him. He's coming in at 10%, but nothing really is exciting here. By the way, somebody in chat said they said happy. I don't. This is a Hootie Hoo Day. Are you aware of Hootie Hoo Day? Is this a real thing? I did Google. Apparently, it's a tradition on February 20th in the Northern Hemisphere to mark the end of winter and the start of spring. People celebrating by going outside and yelling "Hootie Hoo" while waving their arms. Is that real? Did I fall for something? I don't know what that is. We live in the hotter parts, so I never partook in this. But somebody let me know. Is this? Have I been had, or is this real? Do we know, John?
I've never heard of it, but when I saw it in chat, I immediately thought it had something to do with the that Seth Rogen movie with Zac Efron, the fraternity movie.
Yeah.
Because one of the guys would that was their code if something was going wrong.
Okay. Yeah, when they had a kid in the second one, I think, or it was the first one they had a kid. Maybe it was this. I don't know. There was a sequel. I can't get the title either for some reason in my head, but I know exactly what you're talking about. But there you go. Okay, so producer Steve is telling us it's a Pennsylvania thing. All right. So yeah, well, let us know if you guys celebrate, if you partake. But I was not aware. This is like the Punxsutawney Phil thing? No, this is just the end when it's apparently winter is over. All right. Some guesses coming through, by the way. Magic. Somebody guessed Magic Johnson. You guessed Magic Johnson as well, Chop. Neighbors. Thank you. Iowa boy telling me the answer here in the live stream chat. That's what it was. It was just called Neighbors, right? I think that's what it's called. That sounds right. Thank you for that. Okay. We're going to move on, right? It's 9 games, and we don't really care a heck of a lot about Cleveland and Brooklyn. So let's talk about the Bulls and New York. That feels like a big one for sure, at least as far as the New York side. They are 12-point favorites here against the Bulls. We know the Bulls are an absolute fantasy carnival. They play at a fast pace. They play terrible defense. They give up, a ton of rebounds. I think the second most rebounds in basketball. They give up the most points in the paint. The Knicks have a 128.5 team total, which I believe it is the biggest team total on the board. Also, they're going to be without Josh Hart, which seems like a big deal. So it's going to make them a little bit more condensed. Some usage coming up to some guys like Brunson, guys like Cat. 2 previous games, by the way, Chop. They faced each other twice this year. One game, Cat scored 44 points in the bucket against Chicago. The other game, he scored 46 points in the bucket against Chicago. As far as the injury report, I didn't say the whole thing, but I think OG is questionable. He did practice. Mitch Rob also practiced too, so he's probably coming back fairly soon. OG Anunoby is officially questionable with his foot. We know Hart is out. Mitch Rob is out. The Bulls, they're as healthy as they're going to be. Well, Patrick Williams is out. He's out, I think, for a couple weeks or so. New York looks really good. I think I'm going to have somebody for New York on every lineup. And if it's not a Brunson or a Cat, and ideally probably one of those two, because I think, again, they're going to score 129, give or take. And those guys are going to, those are the guys. They're going to be in the court for 40 minutes. They're facing the Bulls. They look spectacular. Are you as in love with New York tonight as I am?
Yes, I believe so. I'll start off with Chicago as the road underdog here. I still think they have enough pieces on that team offensively to push New York. It doesn't take much to push New York for 4 full quarters. This is Tibbs coaching. So I think we're good there, and they got enough pieces. Now, who do I want to take? I think that there's always room for Kobe White to have a big game. Vucevic is okay too. He could have a big game. Problem is he's center only, and we're going to talk about a lot of good centers here coming up. And they've got some good pieces here. So if you want to run it back with one of those guys, fine. Nothing's jumping out statistically, but they're fine. It's the New York side. This is a really good spot for them. And it's such a good spot. It's taken away all the optimal stuff from a game that was 250 that we've already talked about. 250 games getting hardly nobody in the optimal because the Knicks are going to run 4 guys out there for about 40 minutes tonight each. And so, Brunson's great. Karl Anthony Towns jumps out. If you can't get them in your lineup, at least hammer the props on those guys because they should be in good shape. And Cameron Payne's 3.3, not a huge projection, but he'll be fine. If that's what you need. He's had some monster games lately. You can go that route. Yeah, they're just in good shape. And I don't know, do we know for sure if OG is in or still questionable?
He's officially questionable, but he was questionable in the last couple games before the break, and he had a full practice. So my assumption is he plays, but we'll see. But I think it's likely.
If for some reason that guy's out, buddy, you got yourself for the makings of you could play three Knicks in every lineup almost if OG's out. As is, probably won't have a lot of OG, but the other guys who are going to start especially Tibbs just loves running his starters into the ground. So fire it up, man. Great matchup. Minutes galore here. Fantastic.
It is the front half, just a heads up. It's a front half of a back-to-back for New York.
You think that scares Tibbs?
Doesn't mean anything. Yeah. I mean, but maybe they just don't give they give OG today off and plays tomorrow. But I'm expecting he plays. We do have an if then, and Ariel Hukporti would actually project pretty well if we happen to lose OG as well, because we could have 23 minutes going his way. And I assume he's 3K. He's got to be 3K, right? He's center and center only. But just sort of note that Precious is projecting well. We're assuming he starts. I guess there's a chance. No, I think Precious starts. I was thinking maybe McBride starts, but no, it's probably going to be Precious. But McBride's an interesting 6-man. I'm not sure if you ran him off as well, but I think he's another guy that can score 20 actual points against Chicago. Especially if this game gets ugly. He probably sticks around for a good bit, if not closing, because, again, you mentioned Tibbs doesn't care. Love New York. New York just looks spectacular today. Let's drop the third clue for the people, Chop. We do not have a guest just yet, I don't think. It's not Charles Woodson. It's not Rob Pelinka. That's an interesting guess. Or Dick Vitale. Or Rudy Tomjanovich. What's Rudy Tomjanovich tied to? Did he play for Detroit? I know he coached Houston, obviously, but I remember he got punched in the face by was it Kermit Washington? Is it the guy's name? But I don't know what team he was playing for that happened. But yeah, let's drop the third clue for the people. The third clue, Chop, is defunct. Defunct is the third clue. Hoops, Michigan, defunct. Get your guesses into the Discord channel, and first one to get it correctly, get yourself a week free of RG Premium. Chop, shall we got to move on. We're moving on from Chicago and New York. We still have 40 minutes, plenty of time, 40 minutes basically, 35, 40, depending on when they show up. When crunch time's coming in, knocking on the door, it's Kirkwood, leader of the Juggalos, Kirkdiese, Kid Yahoo. It's all the same person. Kevin Roth, and you got Noto coming in, Notorious. Taking you guys all up the lock. Any sort of breaking news, any questions you guys have, make sure you get them in the Discord. Not right now, but make sure you get them in there when Roth jumps in. Orlando is in Atlanta. 223 is the total. Atlanta is a 1-point dog here. Taking a peek here as far as the injury report. This is the only other 7:30 game, by the way. No, this is the third 7:30 game. Who's in, who's out for this one? You're not going to believe this, Chop, but Mac McClung is back down in the G League. He's not. I know that's going to tilt you. Suggs is still out, wasn't he questionable like a month ago? Right? It was so weird. They gave him a questionable tag for a couple games, and then I don't think he played since then. Maybe it was 3 weeks ago. Moritz, no Mo Wagner, he's out. Jalen Johnson, of course, done's over the season. Nance might be done for the season. We'll see. V. Krejci's out. They officially put Trae Young in. By the way, just a heads up, Trae Young will get shut down like the last couple weeks of the season. Pretty sure that happens. We'll see. Stay tuned on that one. Yeah, Orlando, Atlanta. How much does it change things that McClung is out for you?
Gee, I was banking on the narrative of slam dunk champion narrative. I don't know. That doesn't do nothing. That doesn't move the needle for me. Generally, this game doesn't move the needle. So Orlando's just, they are what they are. They're just kind of boring, you know. It's as much as you want to face off against Atlanta.
Yeah.
You know, they're just boring. But, you could play Franz. You could certainly play Banchero. Maybe the little break got his head right, and he's ready to go back to establishing himself as the best player on this team fantasy-wise. So I could get behind some Banchero at this cheap price tag, but nothing's jumping out here. So, and then on the Atlanta side, you got to take on a slow-paced, defensive-heavy team. That's not very fun. So, and they just don't have a lot of pieces around Trae Young right now. Dyson Daniels can do some things, but he's more defensive-minded. Karis LeVert I remember when we traded James Harden from the Houston Rockets in that little three-way deal, I was like, oh, Karis LeVert. Yeah, that's a good piece. He's young. He might be all right, man. I like that. And then we immediately sent him somewhere else. And I was like, wait a minute. What did we just trade James Harden for? Well, it turns out I'm not as smart as Raphael Stone or whoever was in charge at the time, because Karis LeVert's just a throw-in. And so, yeah, this is a tough match.
Burger last game, just a side note.
Yeah, he's had his moments for sure, but otherwise, This is just not. Yeah, I don't want to go against Orlando in this kind of a matchup, and I don't necessarily. There's 2 Orlando guys I like. I mentioned them, so it's just not really. It doesn't really do it for me. I'm certainly not paying $9,400 for Trae Young. If you feel like Trae has something in the tank tonight, go to the prop machine, wherever you want to do props at, and take his assists over, because that's how he's going to get there anyway. And I think that's an easy way to fade him in DFS.
He's got to be the leader in assists, right, for the league?
I don't keep track of it, but he's definitely. I always see his name up there with some monster assist games this year.
Let's see. Do we have a winner? This is what producer Steve is telling me. Is that correct? We actually do have a winner. I cannot believe. I did not think this. I thought we were going to get there. Okay. Let's keep that in our back pocket. All right. Let's drop the fourth clue, since we got a winner at the third clue. But shout out to Casey Douglas, who got it correct. The fourth clue, Chop. The fourth clue. This is for those that are not in the Discord. You can still kind of play it along. Is owner. Owner is the fourth clue. Hoops Michigan defunct owner. So there you go. Shout out to Casey Douglas, who correctly guessed today's Fleet Thursday. You said Swim Cash. It's not Swim Cash. Is there a Detroit WNBA team? I don't know.
Oh, so I'm on the wrong path with the W. That tells me I'm on the wrong path.
I don't know.
Yes, hoops. I'm going to basketball. Michigan. Okay, Detroit, Michigan. Defunct had me thinking a defunct
WNBA team in Detroit.
There used to be a Detroit WNBA team, so I guess I'm wrong on that one. So I'm out of it, man. I ain't got no clue right now. Everything I've guessed is wrong.
You might bounce back in. We'll see. But yeah, I think it was a pretty fun one today, and it'll all come to fruition soon enough. But there you go. Shout out to Casey Douglas. Okay, back on track. Orlando, Atlanta. We got nothing. That's it. Moving on. Nothing terribly exciting.
Moving on down the road.
It is, by the way, Trae Young is leading the league in assists at 11.5. You know who's second? It's so funny. Joker's got 10.2 assists.
Really? Are you serious?
And he's averaging a triple-double. Like, nobody cares. It's like, whatever. Boring.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Remember people used to, like, debate whether he was even really good or not, or if he could ever win in the playoffs, because
he's a stat patter.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I'm old enough to remember when there was a debate: should you keep Jokic or should you keep Nurkic?
Well, it's funny you say that because that's we get the rematch tonight. We get the rematch, and I'm pretty sure Nurkic was starting over Jokic like 7 years ago.
He absolutely was.
I think that was a thing that happened. Yeah, and the path is clear in some ways for us to have a Nurkic versus Joker rematch. I'm sure they went at each other a ton in practice. Okay, let's talk about the Clippers and the Bucks as best we can. 228.5 is the total. Milwaukee is a 3-point dog here at home. Does that tell you anything? Does that help you out as far as guessing if Giannis is going to play tonight? Giannis officially questionable. Andre Jackson officially questionable. He didn't partake in the slam dunk contest. That's my understanding. Dame Lillard also questionable. Those guys are both out. This line would be different, but there's still 3-point dogs here at home versus the Clippers. Portis, of course, already gone for the next 25 games with his league suspension. Norman Powell is questionable with a knee. I just kind of assume he's going to play, but we'll see. I'm not sure. Yeah, how do we feel about this game? And I guess Giannis is kind of sneaky, right? He's questionable, but I assume he goes, right? Well rested. Did they give him
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Okay.
So Milwaukee's at home, and they're a 3.5-point dog. If Giannis was in this lineup and Lillard's in this lineup, I mean, Bobby Portis isn't moving the line that much.
He doesn't move at all.
So, like 3.5, that shouldn't be like that. I don't think that's not for a road team to be that heavily favored over, a team that's pretty good.
The Clippers are better.
They're better, but they're on the road. You just don't see that happen that much. So,
it's also Doc Rivers' revenge, right? Or something. I don't know if it's revenge.
No, is Doc Rivers? Is he still the Milwaukee coach?
I think so.
I just know they did him dirty on that show, that series they had.
Yeah, the one on FX. I watched that. The one they really did dirty was DeAndre Jordan. They made DeAndre Jordan like obsessed with like lizards or something. I can't remember what it was. It was the weirdest. It was a very strange show. Yeah, it was fun. Lawrence Fishburne played Doc, right? I think that's who it was.
Yeah. I believe so. I didn't watch it, but I've seen the clips to it. But I mean, like the line feels off. It feels like there's something shady going on. Because if you were to tell me right now, Giannis is going to play and Lillard's are going to play, Lopez and everybody else is going to play except for Bobby Portis, I would snatch up a 3.5-point underdog line on Milwaukee at home. But so it feels a bit off. I don't know. It's going to be tough to get behind anybody for Milwaukee at that rate. Maybe good to keep those roster spots open just in case that happens. But for the Clippers, relatively healthy. We'll see what Powell does in or out. But with Leonard in there, projected for over 30 minutes. So he's going to soak up 30-plus minutes. Zubac, Harden, they all kind of eat at each other just enough. Nobody's going crazy for – like Harden's going to project the best, but he's also the most expensive by a wide margin. So I don't like the Clippers, man. I just don't like it in that matchup. Milwaukee, you know, if you tell me Giannis is going to be out here after lock and all that, I can work with it. With Portis out, Lopez would be – I don't want to say a lock because he takes up the center position, and that's a pretty valuable position tonight. But, man, he'd be in good shape. Kuzma would be in great shape. He's got a little bit.
That's the guy. Yeah.
That's a little bit extra eligibility at a couple of different positions. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. But I can't really, without knowing what's going to happen with those two stars from Milwaukee, it makes it tough to see anything. But I would just play the what-if game. I'm not putting anybody in my lineup as it locks, as the first slate locks. But, you know, when I got roster spots open down the road, we'll see if Giannis is in and Lillard's in. I don't have to touch this game. But if they're out, boom, I can make a pivot to Kuzma first and then Lopez second, depending on what I needed.
We have if-then set up. If Powell happens to sit, of course, Harden's going to get bumped up. Almost a 49-point median projection on DK. He looks fine as is. Kawhi, we're projecting for 31 minutes. The minutes are getting they're building up. He's almost full. He's very, very close to full, and the price is pretty good. I think Kawhi's fine. Zubac is interesting. I don't know if this is like what's his name? Ty Lue loves going small whenever he can find, like, historically, like, he loves the idea. Of course, Zubac's been really, really good for the Clippers, but last game, I don't know if you saw last game. It's been a while. Ben Simmons kind of kicked Zubac out of the close. I don't know if you saw that, but that was interesting. I don't know if that's a sign going forward. I feel like it's not. Maybe it was just like a weird thing that happened in that game. But, yeah, Zubac was down to like 25 minutes or so. Not injury, not foul trouble. Just they did not want to close them. They went smaller, and they just recently acquired Simmons. But I don't think that's something that's going to happen a ton. Just sort of note that. I guess that's one more possibility that Zubac is no longer necessarily a lock to close. But maybe it's just an anomaly, a one-time deal. And, yeah, we have an if-then set up. Our if-then does kick out both Lillard and Giannis. So that would make Kuzma a ridiculous play. Yeah, of course, Portis is already out. Gary Trent would look good. But, again, this is all under the assumption both those guys are out. And I highly doubt that happens, but we'll see. Stay tuned. All right. We have, let's see, how many more games left? 1, 2, 3 more games. We got about 25 minutes. So plenty of time. Yeah, Don Easy's talking about Ben Simmons vulturing those Zoom minutes. I don't know how much that's going to be going forward. Maybe it's opponent-based, but it is of note. It's definitely of note and a little bit of a concern. But against, like, Brook Lopez, it's not a concern. You know what I mean? And Giannis, I think Zubac is out there, you know, comfortably playing his minutes with Lopez and Giannis presumably out there as well. Okay. Chop, let's go ahead and drop the fifth clue for the people. I know it's already been determined, but we have a winner, but we're playing out the string. Today's Sleep Thursday. It's Hoops, Michigan, defunct owner. The last clue, Chop, is fictional. Fictional. Hoops, Michigan, defunct, owner, and fictional. That is your last clue. Do with that like button if you guys are in chat. Kindly hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications, do all those things. And again, crunch time coming in about 25 minutes or so. We got Charlotte, scheduled blowout here. Is it still 17 or is it more? Is it 18, 17 and a half? The Hornets in Denver, the toughest place to play the back half of a back-to-back historically. It's even tougher when you're not playing your good players. Yeah, we're expecting. This is the tricky one. This is the curveball we got because it's really hard to project these Charlotte minutes. Did we give minutes to Kenneth KJ Simpson? Because he didn't play last game. I know there's some sort of like it's one of those deals where you can only play so many because of a two-way player or you got to make him like, you got to officially give him a contract. They didn't play him last game. Yeah, we are giving him minutes tonight, but maybe he doesn't play. This is something you got to keep an eye on, obviously. But yeah, who's in, who's out? Well, Denver, they use that all-star break, and they're healthy. They're good to go now. They don't necessarily need them, but Aaron Gordon's good to go. Jamal Murray's good to go. MPJ, Michael Porter Jr., good to go. Peyton Watson is still out, and Russ. He's off the he's off the Westbrook. Westbrook is off the injury report altogether. Joker is amazing. You know he's averaging a triple-double. We just confirmed that. Nobody cares. And I get it. People are just sort of bored. It's like, we're spoiled by it, spoiled by greatness. 5% ownership on FanDuel is what we're seeing. On DK, ownership-wise for Joker, we're getting, let's see, where do we have Joker as far as ownership? I don't think it's that high. 7%. But what do we do with this nonsense on Charlotte Chop? Because Nurkic projects pretty good. It is the back half of a back-to-back. Oh, I didn't mention Ball is out. They rested Ball. That they rested Williams. So, we're presuming Nurkic is going to draw that start. Diabate will take the rest of those center minutes, I assume. But there's some cheap players on Charlotte. Also, Daquan Jeffries is questionable. We know Brent Miller, of course, out for the season. No Kogi, no Grant Williams. All the Williamses are out tonight for Charlotte. But yeah, this cheap stuff that kind of popped up. Like, do you feel okay about Elf? Smith? Do we care about this stuff? Nurkic? Is he going to play enough minutes for his Joker?
I don't know, Dean. I need to send off the air horn real quick, Dean. Send off the air horn.
Well, that's producer Steve. Steve will fire off the air horn.
Just getting word on the old Twitter machine that Anthony Edwards is questionable for tomorrow night.
Oh,
in a game at Houston.
Do you have tickets?
That's noteworthy, Dean, because I am thinking about getting some tickets. I have been looking at them today. This may drive down the price, or it may make it not worth going. I don't know. It's a tough call right there, because now I may get a really good price. But then again, I'm not going to see Anthony Edwards. So do I even really want to partake in that? No?
Does it change things that Mike Conley is questionable?
No, he doesn't move that needle at all.
Does it change things that Rudy Gobert is questionable?
It might, because you know me, Dean. I like to get up there in the first row, and I like to heckle those guys. And I had some good French shticks I was going to bring out for Rudy, but so that does.
Are you a heckler? You still do that? You still you fire off?
Oh yeah, you got to fire off a little something at the opposition. You got to, Dean. Why am I going to pay the money if I can't have my say?
It's a respectful thing. I mean, in good fun.
Very respectful.
There's a line. There's a line.
Oh yeah, I'm not talking nothing.
In good fun.
Yeah, all in good fun.
Did you see? Was it Durant and Gary Payton? You see that? Gary Payton, obviously former, Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah. I saw that one. That's good stuff.
That was someone they caught that on. When Durant was playing against, was that? I'm assuming that was against Golden State. I don't know why, but because Payton's kid.
Yeah,
I guess that's why he was in the crowd. But that was pretty fun. They came out recently.
Yeah, that was a good one. But so yeah, we'll have to think about that one. I have to see how the ticket prices go now. I don't know, Dean. Because I was for sure gonna head down to Houston. See, that's a drive for me. That's not just like hop in my car 15 minutes, I'm at Toyota Center or anything. That's a drive for me. But I was already going down there, Dean, on Saturday morning. College game day is going to be at the Fertitta Center, affectionately known as the TIT, the Fertitta Center for the University of Houston.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Iowa State, a matchup of two top 10 teams in college basketball. So I was thinking, should I go on Friday early and just catch a Rockets game too? Why not, man?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now I've got to think about it because no Ant-Man, man. That's the one guy I really wanted to see in person.
Well, he's questionable. He probably plays. He tends to play.
It's not a good look though. It's not like a good feeling when you're investing that in those tickets and he's out. Anyway, then let me get.
Aren't they like neck and neck in the standings? They're pretty close, right?
They're pretty close, man. Both teams definitely in the upper half of the Western Conference. So
Minnesota is tied for 6-7, 31 and they're not tied. They're the 7, 31 and 25. Houston's 34 and 21, the 4. So yeah.
Yeah, but Fred VanVleet's probably not going to play. But Jabari should be back though tomorrow. But VanVleet, they're not as good as much as people.
Start?
I don't think he's going to. I think he's probably lost his job. But as much as people hate on VanVleet, they really need VanVleet as a point guard in there. But that's a different story. And producer Steve asking in chat, is Big 12 the best conference in basketball? Probably the SEC, man. But I tend to think Big 12 is right there with them. The SEC is getting a lot of hype these days, but I don't know. We'll see. Auburn's the best team in college basketball, that's for sure. If I had to bet on somebody right now to win the championship, it would be them, but anybody can be had, I guess. But, Dean, let's get to Charlotte and Denver. All right? Here's what I'm going to tell you.
Because it's just nonsense.
4K, man. 4K, getting a good projection. Denver's not particularly astute on defense this year. I think there's meat on that bone right there. I think that's good. And Nurkic. You want to talk about the ultimate revenge spot, man. Going against the guy that stole your job, went off and won MVPs and championships, and you're like, this is it. Nurkic is coming with some firepower.
Is he a real revenge Joker? Like Joker, he would have better. Not that he cares about his stats, but he had minutes suppressed because he was losing time to Nurkic because Nurkic was taking his job, like, which is outrageous when you think about it. Like, how is this guy starting ahead of him? So Joker wants to clown him.
Exactly why I put Joker in my survey, man. The Joker.
Was that what you said?
No, but that's my thought process. That's a little reverse revenge. But we're talking about Nurkic right now because he's so cheap, $4,300.
Yeah.
Without Mark Williams, without any, like, who's going to guard? I mean, not that he can guard Jokic, but where's the size at? They don't have anybody else. Like, I think he's going to play a lot tonight. I think the 21 minutes we have him projected at right now are on the short side big time. So
back-to-back.
I think there's room there. But did he even hardly play last night?
I think he played about 20 minutes or so last night.
Well, yeah, okay. So he's good to go for 35 tonight if they need him. Like, I really think that they're going to.
Well, they have Diabate. They got Diabate and they have Taj.
He stinks.
I'm not saying they're good.
Taj is 6'8". Taj doesn't have the size, I don't think. Mark Williams had the size to kind of make it difficult. Ain't going to do it. I don't know. I think those are two value plays that I can get behind. I probably, and the optimizer would probably stick them both in the same lineup on most of the lineups for you. I'd split them up and make a rule that it could be one or the other, but not both in the same lineup. And that'd be my Charlotte exposure right there. The Denver stuff, I just feel like I'm looking at under 10%, maybe probably under 7% on Jokic.
Yeah.
Like 12-5, nobody. Nurkic is your primary defender. Like, even if you only played 3 quarters and don't get your last rotation, man, he could still put up this monster score in shortened time. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe his time doesn't get shortened. Who knows? But yeah. And then before the break, Porter was really crushing some things. So Porter's in play, but I like Jokic, man. I like Jokic as a GPP only play.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Porter though, now he's 6'6", Murray's 8'1", Westbrook is back. You know, they're fully healthy with the exception of one guy, Watson, basically. The thing with Elf that I'm trying to figure out, we saw him mop up a game earlier in the year, not early in the year, like 2 weeks ago, when they were getting shellacked. Does he mop? And it's like, obviously he's not a part of their future. He just signed another 10-day, right? If this game gets ugly, and it very likely does, is he out there to close like he was before? I don't think so. But, just – did you have a thought on that?
What are you asking? I was too busy with Jug Nation leader, the Juggalo himself, Kirkdiese is in chat. Who are you talking about?
I'm asking if this game gets ugly. Does Elf close? Because we did see Elf close an ugly game earlier in the year, 2 weeks ago. But also, like, it's very clearly not a part of their future. Like, of course not.
Exactly. That's why he closes. He's not a part of the future, and there's just who else is going to handle the ball too much? And
KJ Simpson.
KJ Simpson's still on that team. Is he active tonight?
Yeah, well, I don't know. That the thing is he might not be active. We have to see.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's kind of important.
Oh yeah, for sure. But I mean, like, a guy like Elf is probably not going to get run out of too many minutes even in a blowout. He'll probably still get, like, we only have him projected at 25. Like, he's going to reach that even in a blowout. It's going to be how much further past that can he go? And if he does, it's a really good price tag there, man. I don't know.
Ruthless Villain says, is Elf still is he still sporting that haircut? I thought he couldn't see, like, it's amazing. Remember his hair was like come down into his eyes.
There was a trend going on. I don't know if he started it or not, but there was that trend going on. A lot of guys had that.
It seemed like it would be almost like a distract, but like I don't know. I don't remember if he was I think he was a bad free throw shooter, and I feel like somebody tried to blame it on that. But Anyways, there are 2 games left. This is a 9:30 game. It's Phoenix and San Antonio, one of the more popular games. San Antonio is a 3-point dog here. Of course, Wemby's out for the season. 238 is the total. Oh yeah, you see trend. Did a lot of people? Was it non-athletes? I feel like I can't think of many other athletes that had that kind of hair, but
who was the Spurs guy that cut it? Lonnie Walker, maybe, or the guy before Lonnie? Not Lonnie. It might have been Lonnie Walker. There was the 3-point shooter he's been the Mavericks, and he's played last year with the Rockets. He had it, and like it was around. It wasn't just one guy. That was a trend of a haircut. Oh, I think wasn't it the Weekend that started it or something like? Didn't the Weekend?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah, come on now. I know what I'm talking about here. I'm a trend. I keep up with the trends.
You're on top of things.
Spurs. Got 3 kids, man. Got 3 kids. I got to keep up with everything, dude.
Yeah, they probably keep you in the loop. So the Spurs aren't missing a lot, but they're missing the guys they are. Wemby's out, of course, done for the year. News broke today. And then their other big, Charles Bassey, their defense wasn't good as is. It's going to be terrible now without Wemby. It's going to be really, really bad defense. We're projecting Jeremy Sohan, speaking of hair, we're projecting Sohan to draw the start as a small 5. This game screams small ball, right? With the Phoenix on the other side can certainly accommodate that. Richards, we're projecting Bull not to start, but maybe he does. Tyus Jones, Booker, O'Neal, Durant, and Richards. Chris Paul, who's probably going to get worked out. Like, it's over now for the Spurs. By the way, shout out to me. I had a Spurs ticket to make the playoffs. I mean, bought it a month ago or so. I saw the news and I got it just in time where I sold my ticket. I got 50% back. It was a dead ticket. Obviously, they're not making the playoffs. I hope I don't get flagged for that. It's like, well, this guy sold this ticket right a second before we took it off the board. It's still a loser. You salvaged a little bit.
But I'll tell you what, Dean. You know what would be shady?
What's that?
Is if we get notification that because if you're a Spurs trainer or something, you could have just made a lot of money, man. Like if you'd have used your inside information right there. Because I was in the private chat today, there was a conversation. Going into today, Wembanyama was like minus 2,000 for Defensive Player of the Year. So if you would have bet the next guy down or the next guy after that at plus massive odds before that announcement, and you would have, because then right when it happened, they pulled everything off the board.
Triple J, I think, is the next guy.
Yeah. What if you were like an insider there and you could have got in there and said, that would have been interesting. But it's just a tough loss, man. I also
today, yes, but for tomorrow, it's probably a good thing. Like, assuming everything is fine and the health will clear up and everything, it's nothing serious.
Oh no, that's good. They were going to make a push for the playoffs, and I don't think they're going to be bad enough to get like a really good draft pick out of this. I don't even know if they own their own draft pick this year. I have no idea about any of that, but
they're in the 10 spot right now.
Okay, I wanted them in the play. I wanted them to make a push and push Phoenix out, so we could because we got the trade swap with Phoenix. I wanted that draft pick, but we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, I don't know, man. Anytime you mess around with blood clots, I wouldn't be happy about that as my everything generational player, man. I wouldn't feel good about that, even if they say he's going to make a full recovery, but it's going to open in this particular game tonight with what we have. Yeah, I think it opens up a little bit for some of these guys. We'll start with the Phoenix side. Even at this minuscule projection of only 26 minutes, Bull probably still jumps off pretty good. So I think you can play Bull. I don't know if I want to spend up on Durant or Booker in this spot, but you certainly could. San Antonio still with Fox in there and with the rest of those guys, they're still going to be good enough to make this competitive. So I think you're going to get full minutes from both teams. It's the San Antonio side that's interesting. Fox is very interesting. Is going to get massive minutes and usage and everything else at only 7,900. It won't be long. We'll be talking about this guy at 8,900 probably a week and a half from now. So you're getting him at 79 tonight. I think that's great. Sohan is excellent, an excellent play tonight. He's popping in the optimals. He's got some good projections. and he's only getting projected for 25 minutes. He'll blast Pat. Like, that's not even – we got to update that because who else can play the 5?
So,
or even, like –
it's funny you bring that up because, and again, I talk about small ball, but I thought an interesting angle, and I don't know, and it's possible this guy starts. I almost want you to say the guy's name. I guess you weren't going to say it. We're only giving Mamashvili 12 minutes.
Oh, Mamashvili. Yeah, I know him. He's not even.
I
had excluded him from my player pool, so I didn't even. Yeah, you're right.
I thought that was an interesting angle. I think against some teams, he would start. But maybe against Phoenix, Richard's not the most opposing center. This game, it feels destined to go small, but it's not the goofiest play. He's also power forward eligible on DK. He's a decent fantasy point minute player, good fantasy point minute player. He can step out and hit a 3, grab some boards, obviously. He's like a 1 in 150 guy. I think there's a path.
I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. So, yeah, how about we do that? Set up your rules where, like, if I'm running 150, I probably want 100 lineups with Sohan and give me another 20 without Sohan that have Mamashvili in it. We'll go Mamashvili.
But Gambo's the team too. We're giving
I would do something like that. I actually agree with that, man, because there's just not a lot of options for these guys at this spot tonight. And not that they need huge girth or length against Phoenix, but they need something there at the 5.
And you mentioned like you don't love the Phoenix side, but I really think that San Antonio might turn into the worst defense in basketball without Wemby.
Oh man, I shouldn't have said it like that. I do like the Phoenix side. They're just not popping in the projections, but I do like the Phoenix side. I agree with that. I do like.
I think Durant and Booker are both really, really interesting.
I'm telling you, you can't beat that bowl. That bowl price is still juicy, man. There's still meat on that bone.
4.8 on DK. I know he's popping there. How much is he on FanDuel? He's 6.1 on FanDuel. He is a center power forward on FanDuel. Do you think he starts? Because we're not projecting him to start.
We're not giving him very many minutes here. So
25.
Who's going to start?
Royce O'Neal.
Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. Probably, yeah. He probably won't start, but I don't think that's that big of a deal for him.
Yeah, I think he's still certainly playable. 26 minutes against Mamashvili versus Bull is a fun little matchup. We'll see how much Biyombo might play. And again, this game certainly, I think it closes small. Like I think this game closes with Sohan as the center. I feel pretty confident about that, but you never know. But yeah, we like the Spurs. The projections like the Spurs as far as ownership stuff. 30% for Sohan, 41 for Fox is just a monster number. But again, without Wemby, he's going to be at the controls. Chris Paul's got a good price. 30 minutes, 5.3 on DK seems a little too cheap. I'm concerned about him going forward, but I think tonight he's probably fine. This price is pretty good. Revenge game for Chris Paul, right? All right, let's talk about the Lakers in Portland best we can. One game to go until crunch time comes in. Chop, did we get Fleet Thursday? Did you get the answer? Did you need another clue? I have bonus clues if you want bonus clues.
I didn't get it, but okay. So is this got something to do with Semi-Pro, the movie?
Yeah. Oh, you read it? So yeah. So somebody they're talking about it in chat. Yeah, I'm sure it popped. Or you guessed all this.
No, I was like when you put fictional up, I was like, okay, basketball, fictional. What movies are that? And I was thinking Semi-Pro, and then I saw something in chat. Somebody said Jackie Moon.
Yeah.
In our YouTube chat, because I don't have the other one open, but so was that the answer?
Yeah, Jackie Moon he was a player.
You got me, man. You got me, Dean.
We combined Movie Monday and Fleet Thursday.
Fair. That's not fair.
Well, it's what do you mean? It's not fair. What's not fair? He playing in a protest. He of course played for the Flint Tropics and the ABA. The ABA is defunct. It's no longer a league that's a thing. Flint, of course, in Michigan. Hoops, basketball. He was an owner. He was a player. He was promoter. He fought a bear, which, by the way, I was reading like the notes. Apparently, that bear killed somebody. Don't mess with bears. And fictional, of course. Jackie Moon didn't really exist. Wasn't a real player. Yeah. the Flint Tropics. I was watching the SNL 50 stuff. I was deep in the SNL stuff. And if you like SNL, there's some really good documentaries on Peacock. Yeah, I don't know if you got the cock, but there's some good documentaries there. There's 4 or 5. I didn't realize I even did that, but thank you, producer Steve, for that. But yeah, I did a little bit of binging on Peacock this weekend. But let's talk about this last game best we can, right? Best we can, because what are we going to do? We don't know about LeBron James. The back half of back-to-back, the Lakers are traveling. They lost yesterday to the Hornets. What an embarrassment. Luka wasn't very good. They're sitting Luka tonight. It is a 2-point, 1.5 point, depending on where you're shopping as far as the line. Luka officially out. LeBron officially questionable. It's the last game of the night. They did roll out Vanderbilt. He's got the leg management, the back-to-back stuff, so Vanderbilt not available. As far as Portland, we know DeAndre Ayton essentially out for the season. Jeremy Grant's got that knee, so he's questionable. Scoot's got an ankle, he's questionable. Robert Williams is questionable with his knee. No matter what Robert Williams does, Donovan Klingham's going to get his 30 minutes, and I think he's still too cheap. Big dude. He is a hoss. He's a big boy. You're talking about girth and length. He's got both.
Yeah, man. I said he was going to be a good NBA. I said, well, they took Stephen Castle, but I was like, man, if they draft Klingon for the Spurs and put him next to Wemby, you're going to have some problems with that team for years. But they took Castle, who's good too. But Chris brings up a point in chat, Dean. I want to ask you, have you ever seen the movie The Fish That Saved Pittsburgh?
I'm aware of it. I know. I remember it used to play like on ESPN Classic or something like that when I was younger, but I've never actually watched it. No, is it good? It's from the 70s, right?
I believe so. I've seen it. I've seen it when I was younger, but
there's an athlete in it too.
I think Dr. J. I want to say Dr. J was in it, man, but you don't quote me on that. Yeah, the Pittsburgh Pisces. They got that little. I remember the theme. I don't know why, but I remember their little theme song was "It's the fish that saved Pittsburgh." Whoa, whoa, it's the fish. It's the fever. I don't know, man. Crazy.
Kareem was in it too. Dr. J and Kareem.
Oh, there you
Jonathan
go.
Winters was a real actor. Oh, Meadowlark Lemon as well. He was a Globetrotter. All right. Is it worth watching? Besides the theme song,
probably doesn't stand the test of time. But who knows, man? It might be fun. Might be fun, Dean. Might be fun for you to watch it. I don't know.
All right, one of these days we'll put it on the list, I suppose.
Who did you say was in it? Did you say Jonathan Winters?
Yeah.
Is that the Jonathan Winters? Is that the dad of the Jonathan Winters who plays Kang in the Marvel movies?
I don't think so. I believe he's dead.
Okay.
He was on a TV show many years ago, I believe. I don't know. Again, I can pull up his IMDb.
Is he white or is he black?
It's a white guy. Yeah,
well, it's not the same guy because Jonathan Winters. Today's Jonathan Winters is not white. So
yeah.
We don't have to worry about that.
Different guy.
Yeah, different guy. Interesting. Same name though. But
yeah,
whatever. Anyways, Klingon. He's awesome. He's awesome, man. Gotta play him. If you're in the prop streets, just jam in the rebounds here, man. Because I think he has a field day. They don't have much to contest him. They don't have a front line period, especially not against a guy like this. So jam in those rebounds. I think that's the safest one. We'll see what LeBron does. Austin Reeves would be awesome. We've already seen the Austin Reeves game without Luka and without LeBron.
Yeah,
he dropped 70 a couple weeks ago. So he's got it in him. There's some good. It's a late night hammer, man. I think conceivably 10 o'clock game, the Phoenix San Antonio might be one of the top 3 games on the night. That's 30 minutes before this. Like, you could save everything for just these.
How long do you hold out? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. How long?
That's the whole point. I think you could hold out as long as you could hold out the whole time. Like, if LeBron's ruled it, like we'll know before the Phoenix Spurs game kicks off. So if LeBron is in, you can make adjustments to that. You can make adjustments in the Phoenix San Antonio game. So yeah, I'm liking hold off method here. I don't know
You
if
got to lean. He was incredible last night. He didn't play the All-Star game.
He's old. 40. Luka's playing. Luka's not playing, and back to back. Although they did just come off of an All-Star break, but an All-Star break in which he didn't even. By the way, that was not even fair that he didn't even play in that game. Didn't give anybody else.
The press conference like an hour before the game. They go, "What can we expect from you?" He goes, "Nothing." I'm like,
yeah, about you give somebody a chance to come in there who can play. LeBron, thanks for nothing, buddy. But anyway, so maybe the foot is an actual thing, and the ankle or whatever. So hey, I think that I would say he's probably not going to play. That'd be my. So I would want to hold off on.
I slow roll it though. I don't think he's playing either. But why are we slow rolling it? Just tell us. Tell us 2 hours ago when Luka's out.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. Well, he slow rolled the freaking All-Star game, so you're going to get the slow roll on a regular season.
I'm being told that Kirkwood is the only one not there for crunch time. Wasn't he in chat? Kirkwood jumping. What is he doing?
Maybe he doesn't know. Maybe All-Star break. Everybody.
Are you freaking blind?
I don't have that. I can't see the room. Just to be clear,
yeah.
I don't see
maybe get up on technology where you can actually see who's
No, it's not a technology thing. I just don't have access. For some reason, I'm not trusted to see the green room. It's not a blind thing. But Steve put him up for that. That was pretty great. All right. Yeah. Oh, Steve said he sent that message 3 minutes ago. Well, you didn't update me. I needed an update. I wanted to make sure everybody was in there. But yeah, now crunch time is fully assembled. We have Noto. We, of course, have Kirkwood, fired up Kirkwood, leader of the Juggalo Nation, Kid Yahoo, and Kevin Roth. Kevin Roth's holding it down. Let's do it. Let's bring crunch time right now. All right. Everybody good to go? Roth, welcome back. How was your break? Everything all good?
It's glorious. Yeah, a lot of time with the kids. I'm ready for sports to start back up. I'll tell you that.
You have that movie list you sent me. Did you put any bit of a dent in it at all or no?
I watched let's see, Old Boy, some Korean movie, Old Boy. Real weird, but
it's a wild one. The last I don't want to
I haven't even gotten to the end yet. No spoilers. Yeah.
Oh,
but I'm mostly there, and then the Caddo Lake one as well. So 2 movies over a break. That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
How about yourself, Noto? How was your break, Noto? Everything all good? You're watching that Paradise on the Hulu, right?
Yeah, watching Paradise, watching Severance. It sucks that All-Star break happens to coincide with President's Day. Little one got Monday off and Tuesday off, so my 2 days off were just watching him. But yeah, a lot of fun and prepping for baby, getting the house ready, all that fun stuff.
Kirkwood, you got anything?
I watched Severance.
Yeah.
I've heard mixed reviews. Can you talk to me about that, Kirkwood?
It's a total mind bend, for lack of a better word. It's slow, but it's like intellectual. So it's like if you're like someone who's like checking scores on your phone at the same time, like that, like I am normally. It's a show that I needed to put the phone down and make sure that keep my eye on the prize. But it's really good.
It rewards you if you like to pay attention. If you're if you like Lost and trying to figure out what's going on at Lost, like if you like those kind of puzzle stuff, I think you'll like. But again, close the laptop, close everything, 100% of attention. If you're busy, it's not a background show, as Kirkwood says. Chop, you got anything before we get out of here?
Nope.
Thank you for.
Roth, I'm going to be in Houston this weekend. Roth,
what are we doing? What are we doing?
Well, Anthony Edwards is questionable for tomorrow night, so I don't know if I want to get some tickets or not because I really wanted to see Ant-Man, and that's unfortunate. But I'll be at the college game day for Tita Center. College game day coming to town on Saturday morning for the top 10 matchup. I'll be there. You check me out on ESPN. I'll be courtside. You know how we do. You know how we roll. When I'm paying somebody's NIL, I get the courtside seat too.
Okay. I thought college game day was only a football thing. I didn't even know that was a basketball thing. Okay, that's awesome, man.
Roth, are you familiar with that nickname, or is that a Chop nickname, or is that a real nickname? Can you confirm that is the nickname of the arena in Houston?
I can confirm that's the first time I've heard it.
It didn't seem like you were familiar with it.
Yeah.
All right. Myself and Chop, we're going to see ourselves out. 9Gamer. Hopefully you guys get some news to clarify the slate. Do hit that like button before, don't go anywhere. You got almost 40 minutes talking about tonight's NBA DFS slate. Roth, take it away.
Good stuff. As always, welcome to it. Ladies and gents, we're back, baby. It's crunch time. It's two of the sharpest minds in the biz. Got Chris Kirkwood in the house. What up, Kirky?
What up? What up? Happy to see my boy Noto here. Haven't seen him in a couple weeks with our NFL being over. So I'm always a pleasure doing shows with Noto.
Yeah, it's good to have Noto on crunch time. Welcome, Noto. How are you?
I'm doing well. Back in the NBA streets, I guess. Would love it if we got like a whole week break. I guess it was kind of a week. But anyway, yeah, glad to be back. Always love doing shows with you too. So let's get into it.
But yeah, like you said, the break was shortened by the holiday because then we had kids, and then I was like, well, that wasn't a break at all.
It's not when you have a kid, there just is no break. You just realize that. Yeah.
There's no breaks. It doesn't exist. But we're here to talk hoops, not kids. So let's dive into it. Was there any like big news, maybe superstars that we wanted to play, and we've played every single slate?
It's a sad day. It's a sad day for Juggalo.
It's brutal,
Juggalo
man.
Nation. Yeah, Juggalo Nation took a big hit with one of our big members, Wemby, being ruled out of the blue, right? Like, what a shocking tweet that was.
Right.
Like, you know?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of people talking about Wemby and how he was not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And I was like, what in the hell happened? And deep vein thrombosis happened. That's a bummer. But I am loading up on that game now. Yeah, I want Fox. I want Sohan. I want all those pieces. So let's dive into this slate. Let's talk about what we're doing here. And we like to start on FanDuel at the point guard spot. Noto, you want to walk me through your thoughts over there?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, so I like De'Aaron Fox. You mentioned Wemby being out. I think that's one of the better game environments, especially with it being late. I hopped on early to listen to the end of GrindersLive, and they were talking about potentially saving almost all of your roster spots for those final two games. I certainly don't mind that approach. So love Fox. Josh Hart's out for New York. And New York has a great matchup against the Bulls. I think they're 29th in points allowed per game this season. So love Jalen Brunson too. I think they make the most sense in cash games, single entry type builds. After that, you can go the San Antonio route with Chris Paul, Castle. Both of them are fine. We've seen Elfrid Payton do some nice things in his spot starts. Definitely more of a volatile tournament play. But I don't have any really strong takes. Large field stuff, you can maybe look to John Morant now that they're healthy. Kind of worries me a little bit on a 9-game slate, but pretty good matchup for them too. Pretty much it for me.
Okay, good stuff. Kirkwood, what are you doing at point?
Yeah, so I love Brunson. I mean, I love anybody against the Bulls always at every single position. So that's kind of like my focus is just loading up on the guys I think are going to score well in this game. I get, the Bulls and hope that the Bulls keep it close. But you know what? Like, that doesn't even matter with the Knicks unless it's the absolute, like, massive blowout because Tibbs just runs these guys forever. Man, the minutes he had right before the break on Cat were just insane. Like, he played him, like, almost the whole game, and then in overtime, it was just –
and he was dominating repeatedly.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, this isn't going to work long-term. Like, how can this work long-term? Yeah. But anyway, so I love Brunson. I love De'Aaron Fox too. Should get a boost. I kind of, if I had to like prioritize, I would prioritize the guys that are kind of cheaper and for getting more, because like 8,900 Fox, like how good is he going to be? I think he'll be great, fine. But so I just prioritize like Sohan, like Vassell ahead. But I do like De'Aaron Fox. I think he's a fine play. I have a little interest in John Morant. I don't like the back-to-back. Like, are they going to play him tomorrow? If I had a good feel that they weren't going to play him tomorrow, then I would like him because I think he'd get like more minutes than like what's being projected around the industry, and therefore it'd be like a much better play. But he's still fine. He's cheap for who he is in his role. So, guy like him. Love Stephen Castle. I should have mentioned him when I was saying Vassell and Sohan. Castle's a beast. He's going to win Rookie of the Year, I think, and he's going to get more and more playing time, which he already has been lately anyway. I think Chris Paul's probably the guy they pull back on, but maybe he's in play tonight. But kind of pass. I like James Harden as like a lone GBP play, and then Giddey is also getting some love too here. So, or Kobe White, but you can play. Either of them at shooting guard as well.
Okay, did just get some news. Dame and Giannis available to play limited minutes, and I assume that's both of them on limited minutes is what I got.
Worst case scenario.
Yeah, I mean, So you're not playing either of them, right? On limited minutes. And now you're probably not playing Kuz because obviously, you'd have interest if they were out. I don't know. Anything?
I think you can still play Kuz, I think.
Sure. Okay.
I think that he's going to benefit the most from Bobby Portis being out. Like they're going to need him to play some center because they can't play Brook Lopez the entire game.
Yeah.
Who do they have? Jericho Sims now too? Is that right? If I remember correctly, I think they signed him, but I don't have it up in front of me.
Yeah, he's on the roster.
Also got a question before we move on to shooting guard. Can you play Fox and Paul together on FanDuel? And when you look at that San Antonio lineup, there are a lot of good guards. And Kirkwood, you're a little bit out on Paul.
I may be wrong, but in this situation, give me the young guys who they may just prioritize giving minutes and pull. Now that they're, Wemby gone has basically eliminated their season.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's time for to be tank mode almost. So give me the younger guys.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. How about shooting guard? What do you like there?
All right. Some of the same guys. I like Dyson Daniels a lot. Not the matchup per se, but just the thinned out Hawks roster and his price on FanDuel, and he gets defensive stats. So I like that. Austin Reeves is he's one of the best plays already, and that's with LeBron projected in my opinion. So I'm giving him a massive. I think LeBron's not going to play, but we'll see on that. But either way, I like Austin Reeves. Desmond Bain is in play, but I'd probably skip that, wait for news. So, yeah, forget that. And then Vassell and Castle are my boys. And Gideon White again. And if you needed if you want some run backs, obviously, you can always play Durant, but Booker is going to be under 7% owned, somewhere in that area, 5, 6, 7, 8% owned. So he seems like a good play tonight.
Okay. Noto, thoughts of shooting guard?
Yeah, pretty much agree with Kirk across the board. The only other guy that I would bring up, Mikal Bridges. Anytime we get 40 minutes against the Bulls, sign me up for that. 6,400 is a good price point there. Josh Hart's out. We don't know about OG yet. But either way, he's probably going to see 40 minutes in a pace-up game for New York. So I like that one. Love the Reeves call. Like Kirk mentioned, he's already projecting well with LeBron in the projections. I think he put up 70 the other night when LeBron and Luka were both out. So definitely a high ceiling, high floor play there. And then the San Antonio guys, obviously all in play as well.
Okay. How about small forward?
Yeah, so the big thing is LeBron. I don't know what we're doing here. I mean, he couldn't play in the All-Star game, and then he played last night, played 37 minutes. Now he's listed as questionable. I would lean towards him being out in the back-to-back and the fact that he couldn't even play, a few nights ago. But I don't know. If he's active, he can certainly put up a big game without Luka, but I'd probably rather just play Reeves here. Outside of that, I mean, it's pretty weak position. Kawhi Leonard's finally playing minutes in the 30s. If you need a cheap guy that's going to play big minutes, Harrison Barnes for the Spurs with Wemby out. For tournaments, I kind of like Franz Wagner a little bit. Good matchup against ATL. Kind of seems like that game's getting overlooked as a whole. And then talked about Bridges too. So, those are my guys at small forward.
Kirkwood, you got a few names at small forward. By the way, it looks like, according to Javier, we've got Grimes starting. I don't know if that was in our plans or not.
Yeah, I thought he would start.
Okay.
Had a lot of arguments about him in my secret chat, but
way to win them, my man. All right, what are we doing at small forward?
Kawhi Leonard, love him. I think Powell, I don't think is going to play. He got the daytime to questionable status here, right after the All-Star break. So it seems like the writing's on the wall that he's probably misses. And if that's the case, that's just more offense needed for Kawhi, and maybe even we see an increase in minutes. So he's just so cheap at 7,200. If you get some nice defensive stats in this game, he could really blow through it on FanDuel. So I like him. I like Franz Wagner. I like Paulo Banchero, but that is one of the earlier games. Let me just see. Atlanta, yeah, they're starting at 7:30, so that's okay. But any of these earlier games, I'm just kind of going to wait for this LeBron news the best I can. But other than that, Miles Bridges, Austin Reeves again, like I said, Devin Booker again. And I just want to reiterate, like this, not only like playing guys against San Antonio should probably be a thing tonight and going forward, because Wemby was just the backbone of that defense. So taking him out, you got to think like anybody who can attack the hoop has a much better outlook right now.
Yeah.
So like Booker and Durant.
I assume they've been playing at a faster pace with Fox too. I'd probably double check that.
Man, those are really good points. Yeah. All right. We did get news, by the way. You mentioned you expected Powell to be out. Norman Powell is out. So there you go on that one. You know it all, Kirkwood.
Nice.
Take me to power forward.
All right. I wish that they waited a little longer for that news. Power forward, Giannis. What can we do with him? I don't know. I wish I knew more about like what they said. Like limited minutes. I guess you can't pay 11-8 for guys who can get limited minutes. Kawhi Leonard, Siakam. I'd probably pass on him because of the earlier time slot. But if you want to play him, that's totally fine. Kevin Durant, I would probably prefer. I do prefer him, so I'll take Kawhi, Durant, Precious Achiuwa, who's probably going to draw the start again against the Bulls and has been playing well and can stuff the stat sheet. So I like him. Jaren Jackson Jr., if he's probably my favorite Memphis guy. So if you were to play someone out of the Memphis in the early game, he would be the one. Sohan, love him. Boncaro again. Trying to find something that. Yeah, I don't know. Do we have OG news yet?
Not yet.
I think he's going to play, right? Like they were flirting with it right before the All-Star break. 6,100 seems pretty nice if he does play. But Kuz, give me Kuz.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, your thoughts of power forward?
I currently have two guys tagged right now. Sohan, we only have him projected for 25 minutes, but you got to think the per-minute production is going to be elite without Wemby on the floor. And I just love that game environment as a whole. And then Precious, I mean, he's been playing big minutes when he's been getting the starts. Anytime we get big minutes against the Bulls, again, kind of similar to my McCall Bridges take. I just think I'm going to play him, and 22% ownership isn't bad there. So those are my two favorites, but no issue with Siakam. Kawhi, now that Powell's out, definitely like him a little bit more. I think that's about it for me. Kirk, how are you feeling about the Hornets? Are they just going to get smoked in this game? How many lineups would it take for you to trust the Hornets?
Smoked. But again, I have a tiny hands play that I got to make up for that didn't come through the last time. We got to do it tonight. We got to go back to Elf.
Do it.
Until we hit this. We got to martingale Elves. Wait to see starting lineups, of course. But he's so cheap in this game. Like, I don't know. This seems like a perfect spot in a game with like LaMelo out and like I don't know what KJ Simpson missed the other game, and then they have like Damian Bow or somebody. I think that's his name, Damian Bow. But like it seems like only one of those guys plays. So I think Elf will probably be in there in garbage time too. So yeah, give me some Elf.
So to be clear, Elf is your tiny hands play of the day.
Only because I have to martingale it, but yes, he is.
Okay.
Is that
all right?
Who has the tiny hands in this scenario?
Rumor is that Dean Shavelson can't even palm a tennis ball. I don't know. That's what but where it originated from was the fact that Tom Brady ruined Eckler. He was like, he's got time. See, he said it on the broadcast. He was like, he's got small hands. So tiny hands used to be a thing with like Silva and everyone when they were like doing the scouting, for football for the rookies. But yeah, that's where it all.
Now we've taken it.
It evolved to the tiny hands play of the day.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I think that was power forward. I don't know. I got distracted by the tiny hands talk. That brings us to center. Noto, what are your thoughts there?
Yeah,
or maybe you go through power forward. Maybe you're supposed to be power forward.
I think we did. Yeah, let's go to center.
Right.
I'm a one lineup type of guy, so I'm not going to have a lot of centers in my player pool. Probably just going to play Towns or Precious and then move on from there. But I mean, large field stuff. If you think the Hornets can put up a fight, Jokic at 3%, it's a little bit interesting. Klingon coming off of that big game, put up 52 fantasy points his last time out against the Nuggets. Now he gets a better matchup against the Lakers. No longer have Anthony Davis. I don't know. I play Jackson Hayes a lot, but probably not on this slate. Don't have a lot of strong takes at center.
Yeah. Okay. Real quick, am I allowed to play Cat and Brunson because I want to play one of those dudes and I'm tired of picking the wrong one? Can I play them both, or do I have to pick one?
Yeah, I'm playing them
tonight. Tonight for sure.
The Bulls.
Okay.
It's the Bulls.
Yeah. Okay. And then we'll talk about runbacks, I guess, there as well. Playing Buzelis. Don't love it. Kirkwood, what do you like at center?
I have him. I'm playing him too. But
What?
Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear.
That's good. All right. I'll allow that nickname. What are you doing at center, Kirkwood?
Like Noto said, it's all about Cat tonight against the Bulls. Vooch just isn't a great defender anymore. He's never was a great defender, but he kind of clogged the paint well. But like a guy like Cat can eat him up anyway. And plus, he's not giving it his all. Plus, he's older. So Cat should absolutely dominate. And he loves dominating against good matchups. You know, he loves feeling like the man and scoring 40+ points and all that. So give me Cat to just turn it on. And plus, Tibbs will play this guy until the end anyway. So like that. You can play Joker if this game somehow stays close. He put up 80 against Charlotte the last time, I think it was, that they played. But and obviously everyone knows, you know, can always play Joker. A little scary, his price tag, and also the blowout and the spread and all that. But do like Precious Achua you can play here, or you can play a power forward. Same with Jaren Jackson. But really, I think the best play for like cheaper, I think it's either Cat, Precious Achua, but I think I would take Donovan Clingan over Achua. But you can play Achua at power forward. Donovan Clingan had like 20, I think against Joker in his last match before the break, had 20 rebounds and 17 points or something. The guy's, as long as if he stays out of foul trouble, the guy's just a beast for fantasy points. So plus I'm a UConn homer, so give me my boy Donovan Clingan in all lineups tonight.
Okay, good stuff. I like your point about Towns getting all the minutes, by the way. Like coming off the All-Star break, is he just going to get 48? Like they're just going to let him go? Like, I don't know. We'll see how that works. By the way, producer Steve says we had 171 votes on a poll and only 70 likes. And that is mildly disrespectful. I'm a little hurt. Noto's hurt. Look at that face. He's not happy. Kirkwood doesn't really care. If we can balance,
I don't care, but it's Noto, man. This is Noto's night. He's a new father to be. He's the freaking man. He does more content than anybody in this industry, and he has time to join this show. Like, you can push the freaking like button.
It's one click. If we can balance the votes and the likes, everybody gets a day of RG Premium. That is the most generous thing I've ever heard. All you got to do is hit that like button. If we can get, what was it, over 160, 170, whatever, 171, it looks like, then you get free RG Premium. That's awesome. So make sure you're clicking that like button. Let's kick it over to DraftKings. Before I do that, got to hit the promo reads here. If you are playing multiple DFS sports, and let's be honest, you are. Baseball's coming up soon as well. Check out this sweet deal for a limited time. Get your first month of Combo Pro, $79.99. Just $15 more than PGA Premium. It's only $5 more than NBA Premium. That is the kind of value that you're looking for. We've got it right here on RotoGrinders. Let's go ahead and kick it to DK. Kirkwood, we start a point guard on DraftKings. I assume it's kind of the same. It's kind of the same.
It looks pretty. Well, I'm going to say Jalen Brunson and De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
Fox is 7,900 is a nice price tag here on DK. Other than that, it would be like going to, you know, so there's a lot of opportunity costs here. Like all these guys are like big time fantasy scorers, like the top play. So it would be Brunson, Fox. Fox is probably better projection play, but they're both really good. Harden is in the mix for like a low-owned GPP stud if you want to try to match that. Halliburton, this game that has the massive total. Trae Young could go off even though it's in a tough matchup. So those are some like really low-owned pivots for the high end. Elf, I call he's the tiny hands play of the day. He's only 4K, you know, so even some tiny scores could still work out at 4K. John Morant, Devin Booker can play at shooting guard as well. Let's see. Oh, and Austin Reeves again. Just bump up your Reeves projection for tonight and get him in more of your lineups.
I mean, it's a lot of good plays here, man. Brunson, Fox, and then you've got the Spurs guys. You didn't mention them here, I don't think. Paul, Vassell. Well, I mean, Fox, obviously.
I wanted to leave Noto some, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Noto, what do you like at point guard on DK?
Yeah, it's definitely the slate where I'm getting at least 3 like true point guards in my roster because you can play Fox, you can play Reeves, a shooting guard, which is nice, and then obviously in the guard spot, I'm gonna have a point guard too. So yeah, I like Brunson, like Fox, and then like Reeves. If I'm ranking them, I'd probably go Fox, Brunson, Reeves, but obviously you have the built-in equity with Reeves if LeBron ends up sitting. So yeah, just play all 3 and then move on. And then if you want, you can play Peyton, small hands play of the day. It's funny. I didn't even know he was like in the NBA until he put up 57 that one night.
Yeah, we all found out hard that night.
We all found out the same way. Not playing.
They're like kind of alert saying he was starting, and I was like, starting what? What is he starting? So yeah, I mean that's really it for me. Harden's like the interesting pivot off of all of them. 9.3K, probably not going to get nearly as much ownership.
Good stuff. How about shooting guard?
Oh, quick leave studio. Don't want to do that. Yeah, De'Aaron Fox, probably the guy there, or Reeves, whatever one you're not playing a point guard. And then, you can probably play the rest of these guys like Vassell over at small forward. So I'm probably not doing anything crazy at shooting guard.
Yeah, fair enough. Kirkwood?
Yeah, shooting guard is where we get to Vassell, who's 5,800. Definitely too priced for the Bull now without Wemby. They're going to need his scoring. Devin Booker, I keep liking. If we're playing Reeves, like I guess the run back for Portland, well, I love Klingon would be my number one, but like Anthony Simons could go off, have a nice game at 6,500, so I could get behind some of that. Drew Holiday for the Celtics. All right, it's now officially the second half of the season. This is when he comes on a little bit. The Celtics are healthy, full roster, but he's only 4,400. That's like, and he's probably like, what's he projected for minutes? Like 30 plus. So I'm buying in on that at 4,400. I like that. Kobe White's in play. And a good run back for your Knicks guys, and maybe Karis LeVert. That's just Atlanta is just so thin now. They just don't. They got rid of some of the players. He should come on the second half of the season, I would think, or he's washed. But I think he'll come on. So 5,300 Karis LeVert. I'm starting to buy low on, and maybe Nick Smith Jr. as like an outside GPP. Guy here. Oh wow, he's gonna be owned, huh?
Well, okay. How about small forward?
All right, let me click over here. Small forward. Okay. Kawhi Leonard, love the price tag. Love him without Norman Powell here. Devin Vassell, I love. Cooper, better price here on DraftKings. 6,500. People are gonna talk themselves out of that with exactly the first thought that Roth had with you can't play him now, can we? With Giannis and Dame, I say you can play him, and I think he's going to get a lot of second unit minutes and score. So I like that. Tatum, super low owned GPP play, criminally low owned, and he was balling before the break. I know Jalen's back. But Tatum should definitely be a consideration at extremely low ownership in a game that should be somewhat competitive. Denny Avdia, I don't mind. And that's about it for me.
Okay. Noto, your thoughts on small forward?
Yeah, I was going to bring up Avdia. He's a guy that can get you 40 every once in a while. Could bring back if you're playing some Reeves. McCall Bridges, again, I'm going to talk about him a lot because he's playing a bunch of minutes against the Bulls, but I was just looking at his usage rate the last 2 games, 10% and 12%. That's pretty bad. Hopefully that goes up a little bit tonight. And maybe OG ends up sitting too. I like him. Kawhi's probably my favorite play of the position. No Powell. The minutes are going up. He's played over 30 minutes in 3 straight games. Pretty good game environment there against Milwaukee too. So 7,100 for him is good. Wagner's interesting. Don't hate Barnes or Smith if you're wanting to save the position. That should just about do it.
That brings us to power forward. Noto, what do you like there?
Yeah, it's kind of a easy one for me. I like Sohan. 4,500 is a good price point there. And then I like Precious Achua at 5,700. Again, I'm just banking on minutes against the Bulls. That's kind of my strategy tonight. But certainly don't mind Banchero in large field stuff against Atlanta. Siakam's viable against Memphis in a pace-up game. Memphis #1 in pace so far this season. Bol. Can we play Bol at 4,800, Kurt?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 4,800. Guy can drop a 60 ball, right?
Okay. Yeah, he's currently in my shell lineup, but man, I don't know. It doesn't feel great, but yeah, he's been solid.
He's the new Wemby. With Wemby gone, we all have to turn our attention.
Poor man's Wemby. We got Mitch Robinson on his way back, and
we just gotta hope Bol can do what we thought Wemby would be.
And he doesn't have to face Wemby, so that's good too.
Yeah, that's a plus. Okay, Kirkwood, your thoughts at the 4.
Bol, I do like a lot. I also like Kevin Durant a lot. I mean, the Suns are going to have to make a push here the second half of the season. This is a good spot for them with like I said, attack this San Antonio defense. That's going to become a thing the second half of the season without Wemby. Sohan, I like. Banchero's fine. Kuzma, I like. I already said my spiel about Tatum, Denny Avdia. These are all a lot of the same names here. So really, the only the new one was Kevin Durant, the Sohan, and Bol.
You prefer Bol to what was the horrible Boozelis nickname that you had? The Booze Hound?
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear, yeah.
The Booze Hound.
I watched Buzz Lightyear, Toy Story over and over and over again with my kids. So
I'm sorry.
I don't miss the days where you're watching the same movie over and over.
I need
again.
new content. I'm like, Disney Plus,
Yeah.
come on, step it up. I need more animated movies. You know?
Someone told me I look like the kid who tortures the toys in Toy Story, and I was like, this is the worst thing I've ever heard. That was like the worst dig I've ever gotten in my entire
I think
life.
that kid had like braces on. I don't think
He
that's.
did.
I'll have to double check. Yeah, I think that's a bad. I think someone was just trying to
Whatever
knock you down in this world. Trying to knock you down.
It was just obscure enough to believe it. I was like, damn, that really hurts. That one stung. Let's see, Kirkwood, what are we doing at center?
Derek says Booze Hound is your nickname, Rob.
That's true. Yeah, that's fair. Only on Sundays and Mondays.
Kevin,
Kirkwood,
Sid, Rob. Yeah, Sid.
Sid, yeah. So are we at center?
I think so. Or maybe it's
right.
Noto. No, we're at Noto Power
I think
Forward.
it's okay. I don't even remember.
Noto Power Forward. What do you like?
I think I already went.
Okay, so now you take center.
Yeah, you get to do center.
Okay. Something happened with my lineup HQ. Yeah, Klingon over here, 5,600. Probably a guy that I want to get to a lot. Obviously, Cat, one of my favorite plays on the board. Precious, again, I like him quite a bit. If you're playing a bunch of lineups, I'd get some Jokic. Pretty easy to get over to the field on that 6% ownership projection. That's pretty much it. I mean, can we play Embiid at all? Maybe a different slate?
So it's are they going to call fouls for? He thinks that he can still win by being a foul merchant this season. I'm out on Embiid, but sure, this is a big game for both teams, right? The rivalry aspect. He's been well rested, right?
I got to look up Sid from Toy Story. Chad's got me.
I don't.
Distracted.
I know they've got me a little shook right now. There's a lot of people agreeing with it, so I'm gonna have to.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah. How was Moana 2?
He was Moana 2. Solid. My kid loves it. My kid loves Moana.
Yeah, it was good.
I hated paying $29.99. They're just I couldn't believe the price tag. It was $24.99 to rent.
Oh, you had to buy it?
Yeah, because my girl made me. She's like, look at him. And she said, okay, I'm going to ask my parents if they'll Venmo me the money for it.
No, you can't let that
I'm like,
happen.
are you kidding? I was like, God, I tried to call her bluff. And
they'll think that you're about to get thrown out of the home.
So I was forced to pay, but I was like, I don't like this one bit.
Awesome.
On record.
I think it might be streaming for free on Disney Plus now. You were just
a week away. I was a week. Is it free now? It's terrible if it is.
It might be
because it was over the break. I bought it.
Yeah, you pulled the trigger a little quick on that. All right, what are we doing at center, Kirkwood? What do you like there?
Cat, Sohan, Joker, Embiid, sure. 9,900's okay. I think you can take some shots on a little revenge Nurkic with Mark Williams out. He played some last night. probably gets more minutes, but really I like Donovan Clingan the best on both sites. I think Zubac is in a pretty good spot. Okongwu is playable. Did I say Joker? I should have said Joker if I didn't. Obviously, it's Cat's number one, like Joker's number two, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We did the things. Also, false alarm. It is not free yet on Disney Plus, so your $30 well spent.
I was about to catch a domestic violence charge or something. Total joke.
Joking.
During COVID, Trolls 2 was like the only new movie out, and they only had it available for rent for 48 hours at a time. I think I bought it for $20 at least 8 times.
Oh, God, that's brutal. That's on Trolls 2 of all things. That's tough, man. Let's see. So Javier says the kid from Toy Story looks like the kid from We're the Millers. That's actually where the insult came from. Someone told me I look like the kid from We're the Millers. It turned into the Toy Story thing. That's how it happened. That's where the genesis of it. And now I fully believe it. I am Kevin Sid Roth. Let's open it up to some QQs. We've done all the things we came here to do. We've got 5 minutes until lock. That's what we want to do. So jumping into the RG Discord, that's where the cool kids hang out, by the way. Let's see. Rank them. Noto. This is for DK Cash, Drew, Elf, and McBride.
I'll go Elf, Drew, McBride, but I'll bump up McBride if OG's out.
Okay. Another one for you, Noto. J Sam says, if Braun is out, how many minutes can we project for Connect? We talked about, of course, Reeves if Braun is out. Any interest in Connect?
Yeah, I'd have to look at his game log or just ask the projections team. That's what they're good at. But yeah, I mean, he'd definitely get a boost for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see. Let's see if we have the
if then.
Yeah, I'm looking. No, they don't have Braun on there.
Okay.
Come on, Turby.
Come on. D-Rock says, Kirkwood, DK, GPP, Edie, or Bull?
Bull. I think Edie gets played off the court too much.
Yeah. DK single entry. This is a 3v3 for you, Kirkwood. Drew, Bull, Nurk, or Elf, Precious, McBride.
First one.
FanDuel Cash, Noto.
GPP that's the answer.
Yeah. Okay. FanDuel Cash question, Noto. It's another 3v3. Reeves, Josh Green, and Bridges of the Hornets variety, or McBride, Castle, and Braun.
I mean, I don't like Bridges and Cash, and I don't want to lean on Braun and Cash in case he's out. So I would probably scrap it and start from scratch.
Yeah. Okay. Blink 182 says, Noto, can I play Aldama in a large field DK GPP? I'm using some chalky pay up guys.
I mean, you can. Yeah. Not my favorite guy.
Yeah, he has had some big games. Let's see. Since it's back-to-back for the Lakers, shouldn't we get Braun news earlier than usual? Like, we should have gotten it.
Yeah.
We should have already had it, I feel like. Let's see. DK GPP, Noto, Elf versus Payne at point.
Elf, for sure.
Okay. Let's see. Scrolling up just a little bit. Oh, yeah, right. Tiny hands play of the day, baby. Gotta lock that in. DK GPP from Brian in the YouTube chat. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you're watching on YouTube. Kirkwood, Mathurin, Grimes, or LeVert?
Give me LeVert.
Kirkwood, I'm going to make you work for this. Are you ready? You can be mad at Anger6 for this question. Top 3 FanDuel GPP value plays under 6K.
Oh, God.
It's about the response I expected there. Yeah.
Under 6K, because there's like so many like right at like the above 6K. So Trendon Watford, 4,100, is a guy who's going to play a ton of minutes in a really bad matchup for Brooklyn, but probably gets garbage time in a game that should blow out. So I like him. Brook Lopez, I think you can play. There's a lot of risk there. He's 5,500. Nurkic is 5,400. Again, at the same position. Klingan, what's Klingan here?
Yeah, I thought he was the
He's
obvious
62.
62. Yeah. Can't do it. Okay. But I gave 3, right?
Yeah. Yep, that'll work. Okay, Dustin says single entry. Kirkwood, are you fading a lot of the early games?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. MC Kid says, is KJ Simpson not playing? Why are you all so high on Tiny Hands Elf? I don't think we're that high on him. It's kind of a bit, but we're a little high on it. Is KJ Simpson not playing?
They just didn't play him at all, and they played that Damian Bow guy. But we don't know for sure. We don't know what they're going to do with him. But the starting lineup will tell us. And if Elf's in that starting lineup, then I think Elf is a go. I think Elf is going to play.
Yeah.
And we don't know. So there's a lot of risk there between the.
OG is out, according to Maryi Danyeezy.
All right. Well, now Bridges. Noto nailed the Bridges play.
Yeah. How high up is that on our rankings, Noto? Is that like now one of your favorite plays of the night, or it's just a fine play?
I mean, I liked him before, so it's still on him. Interested to see if McBride might be the guy, because he's going to be.
It probably puts him in the starting lineup. Do you think?
I don't know, or I don't think they're going to start Payne. Has Shamet even played much?
I think they're gonna. I bet you. If I had to guess, my guess would be that McBride starts, and then I would probably like him less.
Yeah.
Playing with all the high usage players, but I don't know. I think like you just load up. I think Knicks are a great play anyway. Like any of the Knicks are good.
Okay. Let's see. McBride is starting according to Maryi Danyeezy again. I can't confirm that. Okay, good stuff. By the way, I saw this comment. Hammer says, maybe there's something wrong with me, but I've missed this show the last 5 days. There is something wrong with you, but we're glad that you missed it, and we're glad that we're back as well. Let's see. Hey, with that, we hit the lock. I think we can bounce. Anything else we need to break down, chop up for the people?
Get into RG Discord chat. People in there were missing all NBA. Like there are some diehards in there, and there's some characters in there that go back and forth. So let's make RG Discord chat great again. So I'm in there. Noto should pop in once in a while. Roth, maybe I'll tag you in on something.
Yeah, please do.
Get in there.
Yeah. I'll jump in. We got nothing to do until baseball season starts. Lineup alert, by the way, Nick, starting Brunson, McBride, Bridges, Precious, and Towns. That is the official lineup. So with that, we're going to clear on out for Kirkwood, for Noto, for our wonderful production crew, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We missed you. We'll catch you tomorrow. You have been